I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, podcast is back. Episode 28. What's up, Chad?
What's going on?
I'm a little lonely here in the podcast studio. It's just me.
It's all right. I got a microphone now, so if you guys can hear my voice a little cleaner, it's because I got myself a microphone.
Now you just got to use it. And Alexi Laws called you out for not talking last time. So
Yeah, you're right.
I haven't. We've done the podcast in like the new setup with everything on the wall, like a couple times in person. But this is the first time I'm doing it by myself here. Chad's back at college. He's doing it from his room again, his dorm room, so or whatever apartment.
Yeah.
So I made it work. I moved the chair around. I have everything we can in the background here. Still need to add a few things.
And I got my little makeshift studio, but you can't see because my big head's in the way. I got my Iniesta and Christian Pulisic jersey hanging in the back.
I thought you just move your
And
head.
then MJ poster.
And which poster? Oh,
Michael Jordan.
nice. All right, what jersey you wearing today?
So I'm wearing a Juventus kit that we got from a little soccer shop
We can't see the sponsor.
back our hometown. It's Bet Click.
No, that's a sponsor. That's probably pretty old. It's probably early 2000s. Maybe.
Yeah, we always go to the store, pick up some nice soccer jerseys. I'll look up the name real quick while you explain what jersey you're wearing.
So I got a jersey when we went to, but you'll have to wait for another episode to see. But today I'm wearing I think I wore it before. It's like a retro, like replica LA Galaxy jersey from like probably 2006, 2007. It has Landon Donovan, has Donovan 10 on the back for Landon Donovan, but like it's like gold with the green sash down the side, the old school Galaxy. I thought it'd be pretty cool. And like, especially today, we're going to be talking about like the U.S. men's national team, the World Cup qualifying. So like, thought it'd be cool to whip out something, some American soccer, some Landon Donovan, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that is cool. So the store is called El Bazaar Soccer Sport.
Mm-hmm.
If you're ever in Bridgeton, check them out.
Yeah, we'll give them another shout out when I wear my jersey, the jersey that I got too.
They got any type of jersey you can think of.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny. You walk into the store and there's just like jerseys of like random leagues, random teams. Like they might only have like a youth small in one jersey and then like an XL in another. And then like,
what's the most random jersey you saw in there?
It's 100%. It's like a 2011 San Jose Earthquakes long sleeve jersey.
Yeah,
it makes no sense at all. Like 100% authentic. Like it's just hanging there. And like, I don't think people in our town want to just buy a San Jose Earthquakes jersey. So it just is there.
Yeah, it's funny because there's long sleeve. Like you go from that to having like a old school PSV kit.
Yeah,
hanging up on the wall. So they got.
Well, way to give it away. That's the kit I got was a PSV kit.
Oh, did you end up getting that one? I didn't
Red
realize.
and white stripe. Yeah. A lot of what they have is Mexican teams, like a lot of Club America, some Tigres, that kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to talk about U.S. men's national team, maybe a little transfers, and if we have time at the end, maybe another youth soccer rant just about some stuff we're doing. So, but we've been, kicking off pretty busy. Like Chad started his college season, he's a super senior. So I was thinking about maybe I'll post it on Instagram, like your headshot that says like your year, your height, weight, whatever position. When it says graduate student, I was thinking about taking that off and putting in podcast host. And then we'll post that to the Instagram. So I started coaching the high school team again. Our season started, and coaching I have a U10 boys team, U10 girls team. So I'm pretty busy with that.
Nice.
So soccer's full go, man. Lots of games on, Premier League's on.
It is the fall.
Huh?
It is the fall.
Yeah,
So
soccer
all
season,
the
man.
time in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fall gets kind of crazy. All right, you want to jump into the men's national team?
Yeah, El Salvador game.
Well, so we go into this window. So they changed World Cup qualifying, and instead of the hex, which was what 6 teams, the top 3 go to the World Cup. Fourth place would play a playoff with Oceania. It's now the octagonal or whatever. It's 8 teams. So you have 14 games. You play everybody home and away. And top 3 still go. Fourth place has a playoff with, I think, Oceania again. But this time they squeezed it into like you have 3 games in one FIFA like sanctioned international window. So when all of these leagues, like the Premier League, for instance, like they take off a week and the teams have to release their players to their international team, instead of squeezing in 2 games in a weekend, they now do 3. So they went Wednesday. No, what did they do? Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday. So 3 games in like basically a half a week or a full week, I guess.
Full week.
But they barely get any training. So like it's really about like it's a harder task to like get the players together, get them training and stuff. So that's why like I think the summer was important for national teams. And one of the things I always thought was like crazy was so we missed the Olympics and we don't get the chance to go to the Olympics, but that wasn't even going to be with Berhalter anyway. That was going to be with Jason Kreis. So like the idea of sending Serginho Dest, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, all of like the main guys on the team over to the Olympics to gel, like that made a little bit of sense, but not with the full team. So we treated the Nations League kind of like that, but it was pretty much all European guys because the Gold Cup, which we normally take pretty seriously, was later in the summer. It was like in July. I'm not sure why. I think it might have been because Qatar was in the Gold Cup and they paid money to get in the Gold Cup or something, and they wanted it pushed back. So, but we couldn't have the European-based guys in the Gold Cup because we wanted to give them a full preseason with their club teams. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we end up getting the small Nations League window with mostly European-based guys, and then a longer Gold Cup window with mostly MLS guys. So it was like 2 totally different squads, and like they both succeeded in what they did, but it's hard to mesh the 2. And most people would probably look at it and say, yeah, we're going to take 80% from the European squad and maybe just a few rotation players from the MLS squad. And like, we'll explain why, but like, it didn't happen that way. I think MLS guys came up kind of big, but yeah, so we walk away from 3 games with 5 points, kind of disappointing.
Which has been a hard thing for Berhalter, like the whole time he's been in there, like trying to bring in those MLS guys that he's been have certain camps with, while also bringing in European guys. I mean, he's tried so many different players.
Yeah.
I feel like he's still trying players out.
Yeah. I think he overdid it a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. It seems like he's just all about like gathering info. He's like, all right, I'm just going to bring in like this bunch of, players from, for January camp, and then a totally different group for European. And he thinks he could just be like, this guy played well, this guy will play this position, I'll just bring them all in. Like, it doesn't really work like that. And I think you saw like the team not be a cohesive unit. And it's never going to be a cohesive unit in national team when you're playing like 3 games in a week, every other month. But yeah, I think it took them a while to gel. So the first game was away at El Salvador. What'd you think of that game? Tied 0-0.
I mean, what do you expect? Like, this is the first time this group has played away in CONCACAF, right?
Yeah. And
like a huge crowd. I think it was like 40,000. I don't know if that's right, but looked like it on the TV.
Yeah, they said they opened the gates to the stadium. You had to show proof of vaccination. They opened the gates like 8 hours before, and people were just like flooding into the stadium because they wanted to see it. And El Salvador is not really like, I don't think they've made the hex the past couple cycles. So far as they've gotten in a while. And I think it showed like, all right, so we start Serginho Dest, and he started at left back, and he doesn't look good. It's pretty clearly different than playing at Barcelona, which I don't think people realize. There's a difference between being a really good player for a good club team and like being a battler in getting results for the national team in some of these like hostile settings.
But you got to play him at some point, even if he's not the type of outside back you put in those type of games.
Yeah, and like if you think he's the best option there, then go for it. Did he play left?
He played right back the next game.
He played right back against Canada.
Yeah.
All right, so he played left back. Who was it? Yedlin played right back. Miles Robinson started at center back. And like, so before all of this happened, Pulisic gets COVID at Chelsea. So he's not fit for that game. Then Zach Steffen has back spasms. So we're out Zach Steffen, which I'm not sure he would have been the starter anyway. So Matt Turner starts in goal. But yeah, like, a couple things from that game. I thought, like, one, it was our first game in CONCACAF. Apparently, you know, the field's slow. It's hot. It's like a hard game to play. But like some of these guys, like I watch a lot and I don't see much from them. Like one guy I'm just going to keep bringing up is Josh Sargent. Like he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think people are like, obviously you've always hated Josh Sargent.
I don't hate him.
I think people are starting to realize like maybe he's not the guy. Yeah. Like most US fans are saying maybe he's not the guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
He's not scoring goals. Like he's a good player. Like give him the ball, he'll hold it up, but like he doesn't score goals.
Yeah, like if you put him in that game against El Salvador and he didn't score, be like, okay, but he's done it a lot. And even with Werder Bremen, he just doesn't score. Weston McKennie played the number 8 in this game next to Tyler Adams. I thought Tyler Adams was okay. Weston McKennie, I don't see it, man. Like he's athletic. He wins in the air. So like, great, go score goals on corners. But like with the ball or when we're trying to break a team down, he's just not it. Like he's clearly a valuable asset because of what he brings to the table. But like plays Juventus and that's the passing and the ball progression you get. It's not good enough from him.
No, yeah, I feel like you know it. I don't know if the listeners know my thoughts on why he even went to Juventus.
Yeah.
But,
why? What do you think? Big Juve guy with the jersey.
Oh, not that. I was just saying, just because he's American.
You think it was solely like marketing?
Yeah.
I think what probably happened was
he'll probably be on his way out next year. So
they were probably like, we needed some kind of defensive-minded midfielder. Let's like browse the market. And then they looked at, well, do we need a passer of the ball? We have a few passers of the ball. Do we need like a box-to-box? Yeah, maybe. Do we want an athletic box-to-box? All right. Like, let's make this investment. And, you know, they probably thought like they could just sell him if they don't like him or it was a loan.
But coming out of the El Salvador game, like you're playing Adams and McKennie right there. Aronson's a little bit higher, but I feel like you don't really need McKennie in there. Like that, I felt like we needed a ball-playing center mid to play alongside Adams.
Yeah. I think a lot of people.
I thought we needed that game.
Yeah, I actually talked with Jake, who I coach with. He's English, and he talks about like Man United, and like he wants to play like one defensive-minded center mid that sits, and then like 2 more attacking mids, like for Man United. And I think it's kind of the same with the United States, especially in these games. Like a ball-playing center mid can still get stuck in, but like McKennie's so far the other way. If you have Adams doing the work and he's an okay passer, you probably don't need Weston McKennie. Now, is there somebody in the pool that could do it? I don't know. But I think Aronson played as like next to almost like you have Aronson and McKennie doing pretty much the same role. And it's like you don't get enough of Aronson on one side at the attacking side, and you have too much of McKennie on the attacking side on the other side. And I think they subbed somebody, I forget who, and Aronson went on the wing, and he looked a little bit more lively. He was like willing to press more, and like he gets out and like you don't even have to be a transition team. You don't have to like full on like counter press and whatever, but like transition moments, like you lose the ball or the ball. So it's played to the other team and they take a little bit of a bad touch and you could like step your press up a little bit. And like he's so good at like that stuff that I think he does better on the wing and he kind of leads the line rather than having to react and play with other guys.
Definitely. And I think you texted to me, you said like most of our attack came from Gio Reyna, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Reyna. I thought he was great this game. I mean, he's like we're going to say it because it's the podcast, but he's on the half turn. He's in good spaces. He's like turning and going, and he's dangerous. But like, I don't think Sargent's really the player. Like, if Erling Haaland was American, we'd have a lot of our problems solved. But Haaland is so dangerous running in behind, and I think he works well with Reyna. Like Erling Haaland has said it. He's just like, I just told Gio Reyna to pass me the ball. Reyna gets the ball, Haaland goes in behind, and it's just like he just slips him. But Sargent, I don't think is good enough at those runs. And yeah, I mean, projecting like after watching the other games as well, I think Sargent is really an attacking midfielder.
No, I think he just drops like way deep.
Yeah, dude, you could play him as, I'm not saying he's like a prototype attacking midfielder, but if you told me you have to make a starting 11 and Sargent has to be in it, I think I might put him in one of those attacking mid spots. Who started on the other wing? Oh, Conrad De La Fuente against El Salvador. Like, if you were to put Reyna and Aronson on the wings, Sargent, I would take out McKinney, I guess. But you know what I'm trying to say. He could do a job there and pass the ball.
Well, I guess Norwich, they're playing him as a right winger instead, which we'll get to it later. He played a little bit of that last night in the Honduras game.
Yeah.
But it sucks being a U.S. fan because Josh Sargent just isn't Erling Haaland.
Yeah. Well, like, the thing is, I think people saw that he plays for Werder Bremen, and they just like, especially when this COVID lockdown happened, everybody on Twitter was just like, give me your best 11 USMNT. So like, it just became a thing to do.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, he plays for Bremen. He's got to be here. He plays in the Bundesliga. I think he's really not, because I'll take a guy that's scoring goals in MLS over that. And like, maybe Sargent needs to go down a couple levels or a level or something and like get his form back or figure out his game. I don't think he knows what he's good at. And to be honest, like, I could see his career sputtering a little bit. I'm not saying he'll never get called up again, but he goes to Norwich. It's not an attacking side. Is he going to get better there?
Possibly get relegated.
Yeah. Which, being a championship forward isn't bad. You just have to be a good one.
Yeah.
But going back to my thing, it's in the El Salvador game, it was evident. Michael Bradley, if he was healthy and in form, if they kept him part of the group for some part of it, whether it was Gold Cup or a couple friendlies in the past or whatever, I think he would have been valuable. He could put his foot on the ball. He can keep it. He could play it forward if he wants to. I think he's still a good player. And I'm going to say it again, the same with Josie Altidore. Now, Josie Altidore kind of went off the rails a little bit. No, don't do that, bro. He's literally like one of the best forwards we've ever had. And if he was fit, you kept him part of the group, he would be valuable. The type of player Josie Altidore is, and the type of player Michael Bradley is, would have been valuable in that game. Would have won us that game.
Sorry, but Josie was a good forward for the U.S. in like 2012.
He actually wasn't that good in 2012. That was one of his down. All right.
Anyway, dude, there's so many, like, their time with the U.S. is over. Both of them.
No, I think that's flawed.
Like,
I think
respect to your opinion, but
hold on, bro.
So many better players than Michael Bradley.
No, not true at all. I think there were too many people that were either in Berhalter's ear, in the media, whatever, that were like, we got to get rid of these old guys. We got to get rid of these old guys. They didn't qualify. But when has there ever been a group in soccer where it's just young guys and they're super successful? You need a few guys that are part of different groups. Like, building a national team a lot of times is like, you might have a golden generation. This probably isn't a golden generation for the U.S. These players aren't that good. But you need pieces, and it's like a puzzle, and you fit like a few older guys, a few of this golden generation, a few of like DeAndre Yedlin, who's younger than Josie and Bradley, but he's older than like Pulisic and McKennie and all these guys. And like, you just kind of fit them together. That's why I was kind of pumped up about DeAndre Yedlin. He's a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. I like, he just kind of fits. Same with John Brooks. He's like between the two eras, and part of the reason we didn't qualify in 2017 was because I think we were missing the era behind Josie and Bradley. We didn't have enough positives coming from the DeAndre Yedlin era or I kind of want to call it the Breck Shea era, right? Think about that. They're up and comers in like the 2013 MLS. and none of those guys really made it. They didn't make the Olympics. We had a few failures for youth World Cups, like that era. And it kind of brings me to like another point where we went through and we took a bunch of notes, and we were going to do a podcast about like why we didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. And I think it might be a good thing to do in the next couple of months, because I remember taking notes and looking at some of these names and being like, wow, like we thought like Lyndon Gooch was the savior, or like there's a few other names in there. Who's like a couple big center backs. What was his name? He ended up playing for like Derby County or somebody in England.
What was the guy's name that Jurgen Klinsmann always played at center back?
Oh, Ventura Alvarado.
Yes.
That I'm not. He was just bad the whole time. But you know what I'm trying to say. That when you miss these eras, it clearly affects the national team. So like you can't just rely on this crop of 20 to 24-year-olds. You probably need a few solid 25 to 28-year-olds, and maybe a 30-year-old.
Yeah, but not a 33-year-old like Michael Bradley.
No, dude, class is permanent.
Dude, I'll take put Luca Della Torre in there instead of Michael Bradley.
Dave, when was the last time you watched Luca Della Torre play? Come on, dude.
Last time he was with the U.S., which is probably like over a year ago.
He's probably just been sitting on the couch since then. Yeah, I'll take Luca.
Nah, he's good. He's good.
He's all right. Yeah. Anything else from the El Salvador game?
I don't know. I felt like it could have been worse. So like a tie really isn't that bad. Yeah.
Oh, that's ugly.
Not
So
that
then
bad for being the first game, I think.
Then we get to the Canada game Sunday night.
Well, the defense has been playing good. Like they played good all summer. And
yeah, Miles Robinson, beast, dude. Like he covers ground. His passing's gotten better. He's
gonna move out of MLS soon.
Yeah, and I think it does go to show that MLS is better than it's been, and it's getting better. Matt Turner's was good that game. Who played? Oh, Tim Ream. I think we played. Everybody gives Berhalter crap. Oh, why are we playing Tim Ream? We have Bundesliga center backs or this center back. It's like El Salvador's pace clearly wasn't going to affect us. Ream knows the system. He gives the other guys time to train and get fit. So you just put Ream in there. He could do a job. He's a decent passer of the ball, reads the game, and he just gets it done. The defense wasn't the problem.
He was
weren't creative enough in attack. Going to the Canada game, like obviously Tim Ream wasn't going to play against Canada because imagine him in a foot race with Alphonso Davies. That's like if me and you were to race, and I would obviously beat you.
Not with those old legs.
Oh, dude, my legs are getting old, bro. So we go into Canada. Reyna gets sent home because he's injured. He was a groin or something. Came out today. He's probably going to miss a few games for Dortmund, which it sucks, but it shows like you're going from this club environment, different weather, different, it's hot, sometimes a little colder somewhere else. And then you're in this like hot, like Central American country. You're preparing for like a different type of game. Like there's plenty of chances to get hurt. So Reyna gets hurt, and so he gets sent home. But Pulisic's back. Still no Zach Steffen. Lineups come out, no Weston McKennie. For me, I was like, I just don't think Weston McKinney's that good. And I think Berhalter saw it and wants something a little different. And he could be a nice change of pace off the bench. Turns out he broke COVID protocol, whatever. And like they suspended him and ended up suspending him for the next game too, sent him home. So, and it's he did that with Juve as well. So I think Greg, like it took most of the headlines away from the actual game, but it's a big story. Like, he's supposed to be one of the leaders. I don't think he's that good. You don't think he's that good, but other people do. And he just,
I mean, what does it say? It's World Cup qualifying.
Yeah.
It's the first game's of World Cup qualifying, and he's breaking COVID. It's a week, bro. Like, go out in a week. Like when you have maybe a few days off after camp.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then, like there's literally pictures of Pulisic crying on the field after we don't qualify. And he's in camp with Pulisic, who just missed a game because he had COVID. And like he's going to go out and like jeopardize like the team.
Yep.
Stupid, bro. And Charlie Davies was on the broadcast last night. Obviously, Davies broke team curfew in 2009. Went out, got in the car with somebody, drunk driver, got in the crash, like hurt his legs pretty bad, pretty much like derailed his career. And like he was like getting like kind of emotional on the broadcast, saying like how he let his team down and everything. And like,
I didn't see that.
yeah. And he was like, dude, you gotta like, this is stupid. Like, and he probably knows it too, honestly.
Yeah, as long as he's sitting on the couch cheering on the boys like he was on his Instagram story, it's all good.
Yeah. All right. If he's willing to do that crap though, he's not willing to, do the extra work to find that a little bit extra space to complete that pass to,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But anyway, yeah, Canada, they frustrated us. I think we showed some good quality against Canada. They sat back in a 5-4-1. They obviously have fast wingbacks, and 5-4-1. There's no space. We had like 75% of the ball, but there's no creativity in attack. I think our best attacks came when Pulisic had the ball, but I also don't think he was that good. It seemed to me like he kept checking back for the ball in a straight line and like trying to turn, and then by that time the defense would just slide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Pulisic always does that. He literally comes to play for the U.S. just to be like Messi. Like for Chelsea, it's like stay wide, make runs, like run off the ball and stuff.
Mhm.
But for the U.S., he's literally Messi. Like literally come and get the ball off the center back, beat your first guy, dish it off. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he forces it sometimes. And he said after the game they didn't have good enough attacking ideas. But we started Miles Robinson again. Was it John Brooks? Dest was on the left with Yedlin on the right.
Dest was on the right. Robinson was on the left. So
Yeah. I thought Robinson was good in the Canada game and the Honduras game. I was never a big Anthony Robinson guy, but I think I am now.
Yeah. I've always been high on him ever since he was at Everton.
You always get out of here, dude. You've not always been high on him.
I've always been high on him. We went to the game where he got his debut.
Yeah, but he's like his passes were good enough. Dest was like he's creative going forward, but he wasn't good, and I think he's terrible at defending.
I mean, especially when he's going against Alphonso Davies. And
then, but even against El Salvador, he was not good defending.
Dest got hurt, right? Like
he sprained his ankle. So at that point, we had Pulisic was out for a game. McKinney's gone. Dest is, done for the camp. So like we really tested our depth here. Yedlin comes on, does a decent job. The goal comes from was Aronson a sub or did Aronson start?
Aronson started.
Wow. Yeah. So Aronson starts. He basically presses a guy, wins the ball, and then we just kind of start like a mini counter, playing transition, and good ball from Robinson across, and Aronson just books it.
Yeah, it was nice setup on the goal.
Yeah.
I think we found Pifak. He turned.
Oh, Pifak.
Found someone else. Robinson on the overlap. Played it across. Goal.
Yeah. So even though Pifak, or I guess he changed his name from Sibachu to Pifak. Pifak's much easier to say. So, but he didn't score, but definitely offered more in that game than Sargent. And if Pifak would have played against El Salvador, I bet he would have gotten a goal because it's easier to play against El Salvador than Canada. And like Pifak's at least big. He's a target. He like heads things. He's like kind of a problem for people to deal with. And like Sargent, you don't really know where he's going or what he does. But yeah, he was good in that build up as well and held the ball up a little bit. What else from that game? I just think the attacking ideas weren't there. We were a little too static. It was like, I'm playing on the wing. I'm playing up top. I'm playing a center mid role. And then it was, all right, let's just try and hit a long ball. Canada just frustrated us because they sat 5 on the top of the box, 4 in front of them, 1 guy up top.
Yeah. Well, Alphonso Davies is probably the best player in CONCACAF.
Yeah, dude. He's like a top 25 player in the world, probably.
Oof.
What do you mean, oof?
He burned Yedlin on that goal, which is probably why Yedlin did not start against
No, dude, like
Honduras.
Davies had like a head start anyway. And like you can't expect somebody to win a foot race with Alphonso Davies.
True.
I'm trying to think of like anything else. I mean, Kyle Larin scored the goal for Canada, but like they also have Jonathan David. Like I was just thinking after the game, Canada's legit. They have good players.
Their team is good. Their defense is like
Yeah,
not that good.
it's old. Yeah, but maybe that's why they play 5 in the back.
So many good attacking players.
Mm-hmm.
Canada has. My boy Tejan Buchanan.
Yeah, Tejan Buchanan's good. He subbed in. I think they're just really well coached too. Like they knew exactly where to be, like their defensive structure. And like when they attacked, it was like they kind of let them go. You know what I mean? It wasn't too structured there. And they knew where their strengths were.
Yeah.
What else from the Canada game? Anything?
No, nothing. This is the game that I caught the least of. Thought the second half had like a good amount of chances going both ways though. Like not chances, but at least like the play was like in one end, then it was in the other end.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
The Canada coach came out and said he was like disappointed that he was like, we could have gotten more than 1 point from this game. Like they probably could have.
Yeah.
But coming away from that game, I wasn't disappointed. Like, oh, bad cough. Like I thought we played well. Like we moved the ball up the field. Like we kept possession. Like yeah, there was no like final third creativity, but we moved it well. Like if you were to say like what's our style, like at least that game had a style. And on another day with some more ideas, like we probably put a few in the net.
Yeah, and didn't one hit the post? I think one hit the post.
Yeah, it was kind of like a half chance though. I don't know if I would really call that one. But like with that game, goes back to my rant I had when we didn't qualify for the Olympics. Remember, I was like ranting about not having enough dribblers and creative players, and it kind of created. There was another discussion like on Twitter that I saw, and it was talking about like we don't create enough like attacking minded players, and like to me, it's hard to like look at that game and reflect on the youth soccer culture or something here in the U.S. because like 4 or 5 of those players were developed in Europe. You had John Brooks and Serginho Dest and whatever. But like it does tell me that if there's not enough ideas to break down a low block, we're not creating enough dribblers and attacking minded players and creative players, then I think there's something wrong with the culture of like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think so.
Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the player pool because the player pool is good enough to beat Canada, but the overall culture and like it just goes to show the importance of developing those kind of players. And I think there's times where we value too much the pass or the defending or the pressing or like the things other than match winning ability.
I think if anybody could develop those type of players, they would, which is the hardest type of players to develop. That's why
I'm not saying
that they make the most money.
Yeah, and like you obviously need to be like elite at it. I'm not saying it's easier to develop these type of players, but you have to allow it to develop these type of players, and I don't think we do. If all we do is we keep the ball, there might be some creative player that just wants to keep the ball now instead of go for it and attack. And I think there's like I still think like Breck Shea could have been a legitimately good player. And I think that whatever structure he was in at some point kind of stopped his creativity. Like that guy clearly had ability. He literally went in an off season and trained with Arsene. And Arsene Wenger said he did well.
He's it's funny they were talking about Breck Shea now, but dude's wacky.
Okay, but creative players are like weirder guys typically. So if you just create more of them, or they're more creative players, you value the creative player more, then eventually you'll have some like Pulisic that can play in a system that aren't quite as out there that can fit into your team.
All right.
There's every game is pretty much just like there's a match-winning moment. It's a Riyad Mahrez dribbling at somebody against a low block. It's a Pulisic. It's a Phil Foden. It's a Jack Grealish, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be world class at it, but like in your games, in high school games, little kids games, it's all the same. Like there's always one
Those
guy.
players are considered the best, though. Like
Are
you
they?
kind of make it sound easy.
I think
Like,
without.
oh yeah, we'll just develop a guy who scores 90th minute winners.
Yeah, no. All right, think about it. Like we could love tiki taka and all that stuff. You have an Iniesta jersey hanging up in the background, right? I think there was a period of time where people valued the Iniesta type player too much, and you didn't realize Iniesta is a creative player who likes to dribble and can do tons of skill moves. But if all they do is say you got to pass like Iniesta, you got to pass like Iniesta, you don't realize that before Iniesta could pass, he could dribble and he could do a skill move and he could dribble by a guy and he could read the game and make his own decisions. He doesn't just need the technique to pass.
You can be creative in different ways.
Yeah. So
Like,
I don't think we're letting, I don't think,
passing.
not saying Berhalter's not, I'm saying like in general, the culture isn't letting players be creative in their own ways.
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of just letting players attack freely.
Mm.
We talked about this before.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think there's a way to give players a structure and let them attack freely in the structure. I think ideas, helping players find ideas to attack and create is better than like telling them what to do. But if you have match-winning players already, then you really don't even have to give them ideas.
Yeah, but it's not that easy, is what I'm just trying to say.
I'm not saying it is easy or it's hard.
You're like, yeah, if we just had a match winner against Canada, we would have won. Yeah, obviously.
Erling Haaland and Neymar don't grow on trees, but I'm just saying at every level of US soccer specifically, I think we could do better to create. I wouldn't even say create, to get out the most creativity of a young player. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's what you do with your kids.
I mean, can I just get into my youth soccer rant now, or do you want me to save it for the end?
It's up to you. Probably save it to the end, or if you just want to go after it now, you can.
Nah, we'll save it for the end, bro.
All right.
Let's get to the Honduras game.
Yes, my favorite game.
I love this game. So we end up winning 4-1. So, but going into the game, we're at 2 points. 2 points in 2 games. And like, so in the Klinsmann era, we lost the first 2 when we didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup, when Klinsmann was still the coach. Lost to Mexico at home, got slaughtered by Costa Rica at Costa Rica. So Mexico at home and at Costa Rica, probably 2 of the 3 hardest games in CONCACAF, in the Hex. So like away to El Salvador and home against Canada, probably not that difficult. But, people are calling for Berhalter's job. They're saying, we don't get a win, like he's definitely gone. And like, I didn't think that was going to happen anyway. But
yeah,
like,
that wouldn't happen.
Puts him on the hot seat. And I think, especially with the Weston McKennie thing, like different rumors are flying out, and like Landon Donovan comes out and says he's like super disappointed in him. But he didn't want to say what happened, but he knew what happened. Yeah. So I don't know. We roll out what is some kind of 3 to 5 in the back.
3-4-2-1, kind of similar to like Chelsea's formation, I guess.
Well, so it was Miles Robinson, Mark McKenzie, John Brooks, and then James Sands as a defensive mid. So when I saw James Sands on the team, I was like, oh, he's probably going to play center back and like step up in possession or something, like we did a little bit in the Gold Cup, but he didn't. And it was basically Sands and Kellen Acosta as the only 2 defensive mids. Then we had wingbacks were
Bello and Adams.
Yeah. George Bello, Tyler Adams, who's like, I don't know why you put Tyler Adams there when he's been playing defensive mid the whole time. And then front 3 was Sargent, Pulisic, and
Pepe.
Ricardo Pepe. So like,
So the reason why they put Tyler Adams there is because I don't think you trusted Yedlin there.
which is crazy. Yedlin's been good to me.
Good against Canada.
Yeah, and also right back was like our strongest position. We have like a million right backs, and yet like we take like probably one of our better players out of his position of strength and put him in a position. And to be honest, like he could play right back or right wing back. Yesterday he couldn't. I thought he was really bad. Like he was like didn't like quite know where to be. Like it just looked like wonky.
Well, like in any type of formation, like you probably want Adams playing center mid, but especially this formation.
Yeah,
like when
because you need
2 defensive mids, like you need a high energy midfielder.
Yeah, because like you have Sands. Like I don't know if he thought Sands was gonna be like the ball controller, and then like Acosta was like the rattle him up, like run everywhere kind of guy. But there was just gaps everywhere. Like if you put Adams next to Acosta, I think they would have like at least covered a bunch of ground.
Yeah.
And like once again, to me, Sargent offered absolutely nothing.
Weird position they had him playing in.
Yeah, he was kind of playing on the wing, kind of interchanging front three. I thought John Brooks was like super slow. Their goal came from like basically a cross. Like I don't think anybody really knew where to be defensively, but like we just didn't track runners either.
So the goal actually came from like Sands and Acosta were split.
Yeah, they were so far away from
found their 10. Like, dude, Honduras kind of worked us in the first half. Like it was all Honduras.
I think we started okay.
Well, I turned on 20th minute, so
you didn't even watch. Oh, well, you missed it then.
So yeah, so that when those two got split in the midfield, John Brooks stepped up. Guy made a straight run. Where John Brooks would have been.
Yeah, I thought Brooks was fairly slow to do anything. He looked like lethargic.
I mean, he is like 6'6".
Maybe he's big German center back not cut out to do it away at Honduras. I don't know. But it's just I think part of the reason we had 3 in the back and Acosta and Sands was maybe, hey, we have 3 in the back, but like one of the center backs has the freedom to go step. And I saw it a few times. And we just didn't do it. But one thing I will say is like Mark McKenzie's just good. He's not like the perfect player, doesn't always look good. He's just good.
Yeah, but I think he's behind Miles Robinson in the depth chart.
I would say so. And I think coming in, people would be like, all right, John Brooks, definitely a starter. Everyone else is fighting for the spot. Robinson, Chris Richards, McKenzie, whoever else.
Greg Berhalter, you knew at some point he was going to play 3 in the back.
Yeah, I think which is what he worked on in the Gold Cup was like getting to the rhythm of like trying new formations.
Yeah.
And like I think it was just too much of a change, like a consistent change, and like especially when you don't have time for like the guys to gel. Like Sands and Acosta probably have no idea how each other, play with each other or like when to step, when to drop kind of thing, and then you just throw this new formation on them as well.
So, but anyway.
Yeah. Down 1-0 at half.
Second half was sick. Yeah. Ricardo Pepi, so good. Definitely the U.S.'s best 9 right now.
Well, it's not that high of a bar. I think Josie could be.
Dude, I love the way he plays. Like Pepi.
He didn't like I thought he was good and like he did well on his goal. He did well in the build up to the first goal, I think. But like, yeah, he could hold up. He could run in behind. He could be a fox in the box. He could do like a little bit of everything.
And he's only 18.
Yeah, which is crazy. He was pretty close to choosing Mexico too.
Yeah, so you knew he should have. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was gonna get in, like gonna play in any of these games, but good thing they did. So they, what do they call it? To cap tie.
Yeah. He was also in crazy form coming in too, like with FC Dallas. So we're down 1-0 half, and Berhalter must have just just destroyed him at halftime because like takes out Brooks, takes out Bello, he takes out Sargent, he puts in Aronson, Anthony Robinson and was it Yedlin, and then moved Adams in, something like that.
Did he take out Brooks at halftime? I thought
Yeah.
it was just 2 subs.
No, it was 3. But either way, like Anthony Robinson scores the goal pretty quick after halftime. So it looked great, but he just got to the box. Well done. Aronson clearly comes on and changes the pace again. He's playing as a forward. He could press. He could lead the line. There's little transition moments he's like super good at.
Yeah, Pulisic picks up an injury. Did you see that?
Yeah, I texted you. I thought he was clearly the most dangerous U.S. player, but also I don't think he was playing well. Like he gets the ball and he's in a dangerous spot, but like he's getting it taken from him. He's turning when he shouldn't. He's like he got hurt because he dribbled too long and like tried to hang on to it just a split second too long and just got crushed by that guy.
Yeah, but on our first goal, like good play by him. Like he's so fast when he gets the ball. Like most players like say it's bad comparison. Roll down, gets the ball, has to dribble by someone real quick. It's like
You mean you don't like seeing Roldan on the dribble?
Maybe this dude can get a challenge in on Roldan, but like Pulisic, like Pulisic will get away from his guy, which is just like
like
it's so nice to watch.
He's gotten better in tight spaces too. Like he'll like put himself in a tight space that he knows he can get out of, so he could like burn him.
I thought it was funny. Well, not funny because he was hurt, but he was hurt and like he like still tried to give it a go.
Oh yeah, he's a warrior, bro.
He loves playing for the U.S.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who wouldn't? It's like playing in a league you're like way better than, and you just kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hey, he got hurt before Pepe scored the winner. So he goes down, but then Pepe scores.
Yedlin had the assist.
Yeah, good assist by Yedlin. I think Leggett came in, did well, just connected passes. Roldan came on for Pulisic. I don't even remember Roldan touching the ball, to be honest.
Wait, what was the third goal? Third goal was Brendan's.
Yeah, so I think it was Pepe. Pepe steps up, wins it.
No, someone poked at the Pepe, like when they were pressing. Like the Pepe, basically a 2v1.
Yeah, he just knocked it over to Aronson.
Shoot off the Aronson. Aronson scores. Fourth goal was.
It was in the box somehow. It went over to Leggett, and he just finished. I forget who got the assist.
Oh, the ball got played out to Pepe. Pepe shot it, curled. Tried curling around the goalie. Goalie saved it. One of those FIFA things where like the goalie saves it and it just bounces right.
Yeah.
Out to someone else.
Pressed the right bumper
in all 4 of the goals.
Yeah. It's funny because before the game you were like hype about Pepe starting. So you tried typing Pepe, but you typed Pepsi.
Did I?
Yeah, that's why I sent you the GIF of like a Pepsi can. I don't know if you realized. Yeah. But let me look at some of the texts I was sending. I feel like I had some good texts like in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I texted you Pepe before the game, and then when he scored the winner, or when he scored the second, I emphasized it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hyped.
You said Ricardo Pepsi. So I said Ricardo Pepsi with a GIF of a Pepsi can. Oh, at 11:03. So this was like probably right after they scored. I texted you. This team legitimately sucks. Pulisic is nothing right now. Pepe nothing. Sargent flat out isn't good. No idea how they want to play. I wasn't mad about Canada tie because we had an identity. This is just ugly. We don't need 3 center backs. That was all like one big text.
Yeah, we definitely didn't need.
Nah, it was it was too many. Like there's just one too many. And then it said, you said you're confused about the shape. I said, there is no shape. It's just bodies. Like it just seemed like a bunch of dudes on
because I saw Sands. Sands might have been covering for someone at center back one play. And the ball gets up the field, and then he's all the way up the field, like getting the ball off someone else. I was like, Sands playing center back, and then because he's done it before, he would play center back and then step into the midfield.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid formation.
Are we doing that again? And then I realized that he was just playing center mid.
One could only hope we were doing that again. Dude, in the second half, I think I don't know if it was like a mindset thing or like personnel or just the tactics, but like it seemed like we were stepping up to win balls too. It was like we were trapping them on the sideline. We were high pressing a little bit, getting their head down, and like the ball would come in, and like McKenzie would step in front, or Robinson would step in front, or Miles and Anthony Robinson, they would step in front, or like the midfielder, like Sands would step in front. So like, yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I ran out of water, so I got nothing else to drink. So, yeah, like we were just more aggressive pressing, and I think part of the thing in the first half was like Berhalter probably set him up, was like, we're gonna play this way, we're gonna play 3 in the back, but like it wasn't like we're gonna high press, we're gonna keep the ball. It was just kind of like, here's how we're gonna play, not like the identity of the team. And I don't know, maybe he wants us to sit in like a lower block, but to me it seems like we're best against these teams. We go high press them, especially with McKenzie, Miles Robinson. Those guys can cover ground, so just go high press.
Yeah,
our outside backs are always going to be athletic as well. And if we have Tyler Adams, if we have like an Acosta, even McKinney, I guess, like we could be a high pressing team.
and not just so much high press, but like right when you lose it, go press. Like if you're within 10 yards, like Brendan Aronson, for example, if he's there, he's like his skill of, I guess it's a skill of going to press.
100%, dude. That's contagious too. Like you see,
Dude, that's
Aronson
his
pressing.
best. That's his best attribute.
Yeah, but he uses it to do other things as well. But yeah, you see him go press, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go press, and I'm gonna go press, and then it's like a chain. It's like everyone's just pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I feel like I had more thoughts as the game was going on, but like we won, and like the scoreline ended up being 4-1. It was like, all right, that was nice. Like it was a nice feeling, and then you have like a day to like read some takes. And you're like, all right, I'm feeling better about this. But like I texted like, if we lost, like this podcast would be fire. But like, I don't think Berhalter, like, I don't want to say he's not at fault because he's clearly the coach, but I do think people overvalued the golden generation and the players that play for Barcelona and Chelsea and Juve and Leipzig and Fulham or what, like all these guys, like they think, oh, they're just playing these big European leagues, and then like you rely on McKenzie, just left MLS, Miles Robinson, MLS, Matt Turner, MLS, Aronson just left MLS, Pepe, MLS, like a lot of MLS guys, Acosta, legit, Sands, like some of these guys that stepped up in a big time pressure situation were MLS guys. Now, maybe it's just Greg's coaching goes better to these Americans in MLS. Maybe they're just more used to like whatever the style is in CONCACAF. Maybe they're just better. I think the league of like MLS, like the quality of the league has gotten like progressively better over the past few years. And I think it's just at the point where like if you're good in MLS, you're just a legitimately good player.
Yeah. Well, I also think since, like you said, they haven't been able to like train a whole bunch with the national team. Players playing consistently for their club team. Yeah, like those players were easy to bring in instead of bringing players in like, I don't know. Not sure if Busio would, but he's just an example. Just got transferred. Not sure if he's been playing a whole lot. You kind of need guys who are like ready to play. Yeah, and maybe because MLS is full on like in the season, and Berhalter just got done with them with the Gold Cup. I don't know, but I think it's just like it's not something to ignore. The fact that these MLS guys came up in a big situation, and if you were to go stock up, stock down for every player in this camp, you probably say stock down for Sergiño Dest, stock way down for Josh Sargent, stock down for Weston McKennie, just on the field, not even talking about off the field stuff. Adams probably stays stock down for John Brooks, stock up for guys like Matt Turner, Miles Robinson, obviously Pepe, those kind of guys. Yeah. So we're sitting at third place in the, what's it called? The octagonal or octagonal. Just call it World Cup qualifying at this point. I don't know. In the 8 countries that are qualifying in the CONCACAF. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. So we're third. Mexico, Canada, USA, Jamaica's in last.
Jamaica, I heard they're calling for their coach to get fired. The Reggae Boys.
Yep.
Anything else on the national team?
Not really. They play again. It won't be till October.
Yeah, sometime in October. It's another 3-game window, I think. So
Any of those Mexico?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked.
I actually have it right here. Why am I asking you? Jamaica.
Where?
Doesn't say. But we go Jamaica, Panama, then Costa Rica.
Can't figure out if they're home or away.
I think Jamaica and Costa Rica are home. Away at Panama.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a game in Cincinnati somewhere. That should be a good crowd. Nashville was a big crowd. I was a little disappointed though. Like it just seemed like there wasn't like that. Like we start an attack and everyone just kind of roars and like the anticipation builds. It didn't seem like.
Nashville's doing this whole soccer thing.
I guess so, man. All right.
Do a little rant.
Yeah, you want me to do the rant first?
Yeah, I don't care.
So, well, you know how I feel about like the importance of like everything else is second. Number one is, well, when you're, especially at the younger age, it's like developing a love for the game, the want to keep playing. And if you're talking strictly soccer, like the ability to be comfortable in the ball and to try and develop like creative dribbling, like forward thinkers, not just reactionary people, but people that are like pushing the game forward and putting the other player on the back foot. And I don't think that's a thing. And like one of the other things I want to talk about, this isn't a full on like rant or anything, but I just want to be like I've had like seasons starting up and I spent all day Saturday coaching a tournament. And like these are 10-year-old kids, not a high level, but like a decent level, but not the highest 10-year-old level and whatever. And I'm just like, I just see and hear a lot of talk about like this team that plays in this league or an elite 10-year-old team. It's like your kid's 10 years old. They're not elite. And like I heard the quote about like a kid never burnt out because they played too much. They get burnt out because of training, injuries, or pressure from their parents, pretty much. And like I just feel like that's a bigger problem than I originally thought in the US. And like if you start looking for that, like if you go to a tournament or you talk to other soccer players, I feel like you'll find that this pressure and lack of like foresight is like a bigger problem than you would think. And I'm sitting there at all these tournaments and like coaches that I'm coaching against or like coaches behind me or from different teams or whatever. And like some of the things they say are just so dumb, like so incredibly dumb. And like, number one, like all of my teams are 7v7, play 2 defenders, 3 midfielders. So like 2 wingers and a center mid and a forward. And I think that gives a good shape to create like, whether it's passing options, it just a structure to go dribble and be creative. And like, I try not to say anything. I try to just give them a few keywords or something to focus on. But then there's other coaches that tell them everything to do. Like there's one coach, there's a couple coaches I saw that like, you just know coaches, right? So he's coaching a team. He's supposed to be a good coach. And he's telling every 10-year-old or 9-year-old, like, hey, mark this guy. Hey, come back on defense. Help here, help there, send it. Like, if you're telling them, like, especially defensively, they're 10 years old. Why do we care about defense? You want to win that bad? Like, go ahead. And then if you're telling them what to do, then they don't learn how to do what they're supposed to do. And if you're telling them to send it, that's a valuable rep that they had that they could have dribbled out of pressure or passed out of pressure. But instead, they just sent it.
Yeah, well, real quick.
Yeah.
That some like in the future they'll be caught in like 2 minds. They'll not sure what to do, and like I've had a coach be like, or guys on the field be like, you got to do this. And then the next time it comes around, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Different instruction.
I think one of the things is having like set principles, and I wouldn't call them principles to my young kids, but like a set thing to be like, someone's pressuring you, don't worry. Like, see if you can dribble out of it. If not, you probably have a teammate there, like something low pressure. And I told the parents this on my team. I try to coach like this where like, I'm not going to say anything. If you make a mistake, I don't care. Like, I'm never going to be like, oh, come on. Like, I want them to try and hopefully they succeed, but maybe they'll fail and maybe they'll get a mix of both. And I just see a lot of teams, they'll line up like my 2-3-1 formation. There's never any straight lines. It's pretty dynamic. It gives you like a good structure. A lot of teams will play like 3 in the back and 3 up top. Perfect formation to send it, right? For young kids. And like there's one team I was watching, they have like this big fat kid, just an absolute unit. Would step up as like a stopper, as like the center defender, and would just like dribble through kids. And like, you know, the score got out of hand one time, and it's, you know, we're losing by like 4 goals. And this kid's still like at the stopper position, dribbling through kids and just plowing guys over and ripping balls from like 30 out. And it's like,
what a beast.
Probably maybe not 30, you know what I mean? 20 out. To scale, it'd be 30 out. But like, it's like, okay, you're up 4 goals. Like, can you give that guy another challenge? Like that forward that you put at forward and you're up 6-0, right? 6-0 is like the mercy rule. Like, why do you keep sending him balls to as a forward? Why don't you put him on defense and be like, hey, buddy, like, can you see if you could dribble through a few guys or maybe try that skill move you were working on? Because if you put him at defender, they just have more players to dribble through, right? Isn't that what we're trying to do? Don't develop a striker or a center mid or a defender. Just develop a soccer player. It's just it was like frustrating. And almost every team I saw, and I started to write notes to craft to whether it was South Jersey Soccer League or EDP or whatever kind of governing body is the hot thing today. That the coach education is absolutely terrible. And I don't think it's on US Soccer because, you know, I just got done my D license course and there's a lot of valuable information in there. And that's clearly for somebody that wants to keep going or like learn a certain amount. But like, even if you're just a parent helping coach or a trainer that thinks he knows he's doing, like you should be given like suggestions or like a toolkit or something to help you. And like, even these guys that have been around soccer for 20 years or something, like how are you that dumb to realize that like this 10-year-old kid, it's not going to matter that he won or lost this game or that he scored the goal or that he was happy because he was playing striker and he thinks he's a striker. Like, you're not developing the skills to help him in the future. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So like, not only is the formation that they're playing wrong, it's the fact that like this kid only plays defense and he won't do anything but play defense. Well, like maybe you're too reliant on those positions. And then like there's other times where I'm seeing it like practices or like, you know, sometimes I read stuff on Twitter or whatever from other coaches and like everything's so structured and it's, I'm going to teach you this move and here's how we're going to do it. It's like, well, then they don't like, you could, you know, like you got to be able to use that and apply that in a game. And like the ability, the cognitive ability to do that is way more important than like teaching somebody how to do it. Like you could teach me how to like stand up on a surfboard and like I would know how to stand up on a surfboard. But like when a wave comes and I want to stand up on a surfboard, I'm not going to know how to do it.
Wow. I like that. Whoa.
So it's kind of all over the place, man, but you get what I'm trying to say. There's a real theme here. Like, and there's very rarely anybody that is missing one or the other or a few. Like if you play like a good formation, like a, you know, whatever, don't worry about the formation, but like if you mix kids around and like let them play defense, but like also play center mid, then you're also probably a guy that understands the like holistic development of a soccer player. But if you're one of those guys who only plays your kid on the wing and all he is a winger, then you're also probably more likely to be the guy that really cares about scoring a bunch of goals and doesn't know how to challenge that player appropriately. So like if a group of people, like they don't like to win, you know, they win 6-0 and they think it's a waste of time. Well, to me, I think, well, why not get up? You know, do you have to start your players in their favorite positions? Can you start them in a different position or can you get up 2-3-0, which I don't even care about the score anyway. Then after it's 2-3-0, can you give them other challenges as like, hey, can you try and dribble by a player or you have to do a move before you get rid of the ball or something like that. Then it makes it harder and maybe levels the playing field instead of you get up 6-0 and play keep away because keep away is dumb anyway. Like keep away at the younger ages almost reinforces bad habits of just getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like I used to, just without thinking about it, I didn't really care much about like warm-ups for games for my little kids. So we used to just kind of play like monkey in the middle, like little like 7v1 rondo, whatever it is, just kind of give, nothing crazy. And I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of the opposite of what I want them to do. I want them to hold on to the ball and like read their decisions instead of just kicking it and giving it to the next guy. And I don't think don't you think it'd be easy for a league to set like a certain precedent and to be like, this is how the players will improve. And like, this is what we want these players to have when they're 14 and 15. To me, I'd rather have a player that like his passing technique isn't great, but like he's comfortable enough to stay on the ball. And therefore you could work with him on the passing technique when he's older, rather than someone who could pass a ball, but like will just get rid of it every time he gets it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you for the most part. Like you always tell your kids to dribble and stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm also I also think you should put your best. How many kids you play with on your field?
7. Goalkeeper and 6.
All right. Well, any 11, whether you're playing with 11 or 7, like put your best 11 or 7 players out on the field.
Why would you do that?
Like put your best ones out there, no matter the position.
To do what though? Why would I put my best 7 out there? Like, what's wrong with having
about it?
Huh?
You were just talking about it.
You're saying that other teams would do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think like a lot of
smartest players too.
A lot of people will put their best 7 players on the field, and the subs will sub in for 5 to 10 minutes at a time at certain positions to give those guys a rest and then come out. And then the other player will go back in his best position. It's like, why not mix it up? Like, if my best defender is really good at defending, like, why not play him on the wing for a little bit? Start him on the wing and maybe start my 5th best defender on defense. Like, I almost would never start my best 7 or whatever it is, 9v9, 11v11, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you just see
you don't really care about winning.
Yeah. And I think the winning thing, like, dude, there was like a game behind me on a different field. Like, kid scores a goal and like the parents just like erupt. It's like, that's great that he scored a goal, man. But like, congrats on your trophy that nobody cares about. Like, you're ruining. And then like people like,
yeah, but like,
if it's an ego thing, if it's like like they're 9 years old, like to me, somebody that's been through it, why would you take winning over the development of the player? And then like, you could still win and develop. You could just develop. You just have to develop first.
Yeah. You're thinking from the soccer side, like, yeah, parents just want their kid to be the best. You know what I mean? Like, well, they want their kid to be better than someone else's kid. You know what I mean?
It's one thing coming from a parent, like if the parent is coaching a team. It's another thing if like a paid soccer guy is doing that.
Like you.
Yeah, like if I were to be like, oh man, I got to take that kid off the field because he's hurting the team and we might lose. Like that it's not doing my job as a youth soccer coach. There's obviously different levels. Like in college, you want to win games, you're grinding out results, that kind of thing. That's a little bit different. But yeah, man, I see it too often. And like, you don't really coach, right? You've helped out at camps or whatever. Like if you were to come to a youth tournament and see some of this stuff, it's a way bigger problem, because what I've seen at these tournaments is probably the average 95% of players and teams in this area, South Jersey, South Central Jersey, whatever. And like, that's a big pool of players. And think about all of the players that we stopped from developing because of what's happening.
Yeah, I should come to one of those tournaments though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get my team in a Thanksgiving tournament. You can come to that.
So those listening, I've heard this rant maybe 200 times.
Well, just about after every game, I say
Yeah.
it to somebody. I also
And
think
it's
like I have
either
some
me
other
or
rule
Dad.
changes. Like I think if like so let's say like a young kids team scored a goal. If they didn't just sprint back to midfield and you had to reset, I don't think people would care about goals at all and they wouldn't care about winning. But because you score a goal, you run back to midfield, all of the parents cheer, and then you reset again, it like adds more emotion to scoring a goal. But like at the younger ages, do you even want that? Like, why not just have them set up and take a six kick again or something? And then you de-emphasize
Oh.
winning the game. And then same thing with like throw-ins. I think throw-ins at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old are the dumbest things. It's just wasting time. Like you could teach a 13-year-old how to throw the ball.
Yeah, even at this point in college, like throw-ins are like
Yeah.
But,
that's my rant.
nice.
All right. So we're like over an hour. Do you want to talk about some transfers real quick or what?
Yeah, well, last time we hopped on here was not Messi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Since then, Ronaldo obviously is going to United.
Yeah. I really don't
Yes.
like what is there to
Yes,
say? It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo's gone United. Not going to talk much, but they thought he was going to go to City. People were like, "What?" So he's going to United for kind of cheap. I don't know how much, but like you get Ronaldo for that
30,
amount,
I think,
dude. You probably make that back so quick.
in jersey sales. It's like buying Weston McKennie for eBay, apparently.
Yeah, but dude, like it's kind of cool having Ronaldo back in the prime. So with the transfer window basically over, I was just gonna highlight like just a few
Yeah.
transfers like that I thought were the best.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like the other would be a few I missed, but obviously I love the Ronaldo transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're United fan, that's probably awesome for you. Whether you're not, like me, it's still awesome to see Ronaldo come to the prem.
I mean, what's better than that? You get to see Ronaldo and you get to finish 8th or 9th. Everton fans loving it.
Yeah. Also, Donnarumma, Wijnaldum, Ramos, Messi, all on free transfers.
Yeah.
All by one team, PSG.
Great business.
So, props to them. Swinging over to Barca and Atletico. Griezmann, just 2 years ago, was sold from Atletico to Barca for 120 million. Now they're sending him back to Atletico. He's going to be on loan this year for 10 million with an option to buy, I think, for 40 million at the end of the
That's crazy.
End of the season.
I don't
could be the worst deal ever.
Yeah, he was never going to fit Barca. I didn't really like it when they bought him either.
It didn't make any sense. Think about it. In the 2 years he was there, Atletico won a title without him, and they made money.
And they'll get him back.
And they get him back, and he's probably going to be really good, considering he played there and was really good already. I think it might be the worst deal ever. Like Barcelona.
I don't know. Well, like Ousmane Dembele is looking like a pretty bad deal.
I mean, he's still got like all the talent in the world.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, like from a money aspect,
and
since they are the rivals of the team.
Did you write down Camavinga to Real Madrid?
So I was just about to mention that Camavinga to Real Madrid for 35 mil.
We called that. We called that back last winter.
Yeah, so we're both huge Camavinga fans. He is probably worth around 60 million. And last year they were even calling for more if people wanted to buy him, which when we started talking about him. So Camavinga to Real for 35 mil is a good deal.
It seems like a little bit too low of money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, from the hype that he was getting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Here's my Everton reference: Demarai Gray for 1.6 million. I mean, like 1.6 million for Demarai Gray. good player.
I guess. Yeah, I don't have much to say. I haven't watched a lot of them.
A few goals already. So, I mean, for that cheap, dude, that's like MLS teams buy players 5 times the amount of that.
Surprised David Beckham didn't swoop in. He loves a good, like, recycled English Premier League player to hop on his MLS team.
He's not old enough yet.
Yeah.
And then Saul to Chelsea. I think it's a nice pickup for Chelsea. Just
I thought it was a loan, right?
It's a loan with an option to buy, which right now he's worth about 40 million, but could be more, could be less at the end of the year. But I like that move a lot, especially for depth. He's been linked to the Prem for a few years, but he got the move to Chelsea, which is cool.
Yeah, that's a guy, like, and that type of player is somebody that I didn't get the chance to watch. Like, I don't watch a lot of him, like, throughout the year. So, like, him coming to Chelsea, different environment for him, and it's cool for me because I get to see, like, who's this player that's, like, pretty hyped up that I've yet to really see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a type of player that just fits Chelsea's system. Well, first he's just technically sound, and then he like works hard defensively. So
yeah, he's like you.
Yeah. So those are my
cool. And obviously the biggest one is probably what didn't happen with Kylian Mbappe not going to Real Madrid. They're trying to buy him. PSG rejected. So it sounds like he could just go for free in like next summer, but like maybe PSG could get a contract extension. I don't know.
Yeah. Which people are like obviously looking at it. I don't think we talked about this yet. Like I would love for Mbappe to play a season with Messi. But like what goes through like a player like Mbappe's head is like he wants to go somewhere instantly and be like the guy.
Yeah.
That's just
mentality. I guess you could say he deserves it though. He's been really good. Like I don't like it, yeah, it's right. It's not right for him to be selfish and like force his way out now or whatever. But like he does like deserve to be the guy. Like he is the guy. Like he's, there's like 5 like guys in the world or so, and like he's one of them.
Yeah, and 3 of them are on the same team now. One
of them, or I would say Erling Haaland, I think like after the first couple of Bundesliga weeks is just like best player in the world to me right now. And then apparently like with Chelsea getting Lukaku, I think it takes them out of the race. With Man United buying Cristiano Ronaldo, like long term, I don't think so, but like it kind of could if they're preoccupied right now. Like I don't think City, I don't know. So like maybe it's Real Madrid. Apparently Bayern Munich are in on it, which is just honestly kind of boring if you went to Bayern Munich.
Like if Haaland went to Bayern.
Like, do I want to see Bayern win 5-0 against Mainz every week and Erling Haaland scores twice? Like, not really.
Yeah, but you text me after the first Bundesliga game week, and it was like, Erling Haaland's the best player in the world.
Yes, dude.
It's so good. And then he went like 2 games without scoring.
He has like 4 goals this week for Norway, so. He's going to average a goal a game in the Bundesliga this year. And he pretty much averages a goal a game for internationals.
Average a goal a game.
What'd you say?
I was just going to say, he probably almost does average a goal a game.
I don't know.
So, yeah, those were my top transfers of the summer, or clubs that did good business.
Nice, man.
And I love some good business.
That's why you have the Juve kit on.
Yeah.
Speaking of good business,
they took away Moise Kean from Everton.
Yeah, I saw. My boy Sam Lammers he moved away from Atalanta. I forget where he went.
I think somewhere in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up real quick.
You like that guy for like no reason.
I saw him in just like a PSV training video, and I was like, I like this guy. He's good, dude. I'm telling you, he's going to be good. He just needs to like get his feet under him.
Dude, he's
Eintracht Frankfurt.
Okay.
That's a good spot for him.
Yeah. I think he'll succeed there.
Dude, Frankfurt's system.
Frankfurt.
Real good for creative number 9s.
So next podcast, we're probably just going to go through Frankfurt's tactics in depth.
That'd actually be kind of funny if we said like, all right, all we're gonna do is like analyze one team's tactics for the past month and like see what we come up with and like the differences. That'd be like actually kind of fun.
Yeah, we should do that.
Uh,
And then talk about it at the end of a show or something.
yeah, that would be a good thing for like in the middle of winter when like nothing else is going on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Or are we good?
Not really. I'm just can't wait to see what your team's do in the fall. I've been so ready to see you on the touchline.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna be dripped out on this touchline. Can't wait to see my 10-year-olds develop while everybody else is playing for wins and big kicks.
Dude, in 10 years from now, your kids are probably going to be on the U20 national team.
Probably, yes. And also, like, so there's a pretty like prominent youth club here in South Jersey, and there's a young team playing behind me. So I was listening in on what this guy was saying at halftime. The dude, he sits down in his fold-out chair, his little coach's fold-out chair, and all of his games must have been on the same field. So he had a game for different age groups every like slot window. So he didn't move from that spot all day. And like he sits there in his chair, doesn't move. Anytime the players come over, they sit in front of him in his chair. The one time, his teams don't even play good soccer. He's sitting in his chair. The teams come over and he goes, "Guys, that was crap. Like that's 2 crap games in a row. What are we doing?" And like they're 9-year-old kids, and you're telling them like they're crap. Like, you don't have to, you didn't have to like be flowers and rainbows all the time when you talk about soccer. But like if you're saying that's crap, like first of all, you probably are getting the wrong thing out of them. If you're telling somebody it's crap, it's probably an effort thing. And like our 9-year-old is really just not going to give good effort. Like to me, like that's a problem of putting too much pressure on somebody and like not looking out for the right, like the right interest of the player and the player's development. So
players are different. Like kids are different though. Like some kids, I don't know, at home might get yelled at their parents like that.
Yeah, I got you. And like maybe my style, I'll find out doesn't work as well. But like to me, it's just a broader idea of like when we talk about why do kids play soccer when they're younger and then quit, or why do kids play soccer but like not really develop, and that kind of stuff, or why are kids good when they're younger and not develop? Well, maybe because you're not challenging them and they only play forward for the whole game, like that. Those kind of things.
When do you think you'll realize that your style worked or didn't work?
Well, I've already seen it work. So like to be honest, my boys team that I've had for this would be like my first full year now. They've gotten a lot better. And like, will it translate to wins? Like we've won some more games and we'll be in a more competitive flight. And like, we actually picked up some really good players as well. But like, I'm not judging it based on that, but like we're playing against other like higher level teams than we are, mostly because like they just leave their big kids up top and kick it to them and they can go run and kick hard and score. But like they're pressuring us and we're just like dribbling out of it, or we recognize when there's a 2v1 to play out of. And it's cool to watch. And like, you'll concede goals, but like the goals we concede are because the defenders get too spread out in possession, not because like, the other team's just better than us. So it works.
Yeah.
All right, cool. This has been pretty long. So you ready to end it?
Yeah. If they're sticking around, thanks for tuning in.
Yep. All right. That's I think it's episode 28.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
All right. See ya.